And welcome into the Talk of Champions. Brad Logan today, joined by Chuck Rounsaville of the Ole Miss Spirit. And Chuck, appreciate you jumping on today. It's always a lot of fun when we can talk football, and we've got football that is absolutely right around the corner with Media Day coming up later on this week.
Yeah, Thursday it all kicks off, and man, it always gets here so quickly. Even though you think it's forever, it really isn't. It gets here
Yeah.
quick.
Last year was really special. I know you and I've talked a lot about last year. Kind of your overall thoughts. You've covered the program for quite a long time, and what were your kind of overall thoughts after the end of last year?
Well, it's as good as it gets. I mean, we were one game away from playing for the national championship. So, I mean, that's high cotton, and it was just a flip of the coin from being a national championship type team. They played all comers and did a good job. And what do you say? Uh, just fantastic, a fantastic year. Fun to follow, fun to cover, fun to watch.
Who are some of your players that aren't going to be on the team this year that either graduated or went to the pros and that you're going to be missing this year that had a great year last year?
Well, obviously Stribling, wide receiver, Trey Wallace, wide receiver. Those guys will be missed, and defense. I don't know that Xavion Harris probably the number one guy that I'm going to miss, defensive tackle, but I think we upgraded our defense, so I don't know that I'm going to miss much of anything.
Does this past season kind of reflect on anything that you've covered in your career in regards to success? Can you kind of correlate it to anything?
It's kind of like the art Eli Manning senior year, probably. The year that we played Michigan down in the Gator Bowl, even though that wasn't a very good game. There was years we played at the Sugar Bowl when Hugh Freeze was the coach that was very successful. But this is a notch above. I mean, this was a notch above. This is college football playoffs. This is semifinals. This is like I said earlier, one snap from playing for the national championship.
How did you feel like Pete Golding handled everything at the end of the year, coaching the playoff, going 2-1? It's really, to me personally, I thought he did a great job. Your thoughts after kind of being thrown in the fire for Pete Golding?
Oh, no question about it. He's ready for this. I'm I'm very, very much a Pete Golden fan, and I was when he was the defensive coordinator, and then when he became the head coach the last three games during the playoffs. He showed me a lot of mettle, a lot of great decision making, and since then, if you listen to him on any podium, he's a sharp guy. He's been trained by the best, and he's bringing a lot of that to the table and bringing his own personality to the table as well. The players seem to love him. I think this is just a no brainer. I think Keith Carter elevating him, hiring him, made all the sense in the world.
Thought he handled himself very well at SEC Media Day. I know there's a ton of information on the Ole Miss Spirit. That's omspirit.com, an affiliate of On Three that you've written about, that Ben and Jake and Zach. But I thought Ole Miss was very well represented in Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely. But started with Pete, and then the three kids they took over there, Trinidad, Kewan, and Will Eccles, all did a great job over there. They were very comfortable. They've been schooled well, first of all, by the sports information people that told them, what to expect and how to handle it. And hats off to the sports information folks for that. But yeah, all four of them did a tremendous job over there.
The schedule is, as we've talked about ad nauseum on the Ole Miss Spirit, it's much more difficult than last year. I know there are a lot of games that jump out at everybody on the road at Texas, back on the road at Oklahoma, on the road at Florida, LSU, Georgia, coming to Oxford, along with Auburn. The schedule is very difficult. What are some games that kind of you're looking at? And it's kind of like the old saying: you got to be the best. You got to beat the best. And Ole Miss has got that opportunity this fall.
I know this is going to sound cliche and not the answer you're looking for, but Uh, Only thing I'm looking at is Louisville.
Yeah,
Um, that's a huge game. I mean, Louisville's pretty good. I mean, you could say they graduated a lot of people, so did we, but they beat Miami last year and we didn't. And you
yeah.
can say, well, Carson Beck had 4 interceptions in that game. So what? Louisville defense forced 4 interceptions, you could say. So I just think we need to get off on the right foot. Louisville, and then obviously after that, you got LSU coming in here pretty quickly. That's going to be a grudge match for sure with Lane Kiffin coming in here, and and then down the road, it's a meat grinder, and only the strong will survive.
You're looking at this year's season and their roster, Chuck, I think is one of the better rosters Ole Miss has ever had, both on offense and defense, which a lot of people are not talking about. Obviously, we talked about the schedule being difficult, but the roster in and of itself kind of centered around Trinidad Chambliss and Kewan Lacey, two Heisman contenders for Ole Miss this year.
Yeah, centered around them, but there's so many more pieces that I'm intrigued by that to get to learn about them, to digest how good they are, to just to figure out where all this is going, because it's going to take more than 2 players, as you well know. The offensive line's got to hold up, and there's 2 key people to replace at the tackles that we think Therese Davis, the sophomore from Maryland, and Tommy Kinsler, the transfer, the huge transfer from Miami, should do the job at left and right tackle. But we got to see it in action, and then you got some wide receivers that you have to replace. And I mean, it's really good ones. Trey Wallace and Striblin were about as good as we've had here, barring DK and AJ, really good players that you got to replace. So I'm looking forward to it. I think there's plenty of candidates to fill in all the spaces, but got to see it.
You cross your fingers that Trinidad Chambliss, Kewan Lacey, and the remainder of that offense, no one gets injured. But if you look at the quarterback room, you think there's going to be a possibility we see Deuce Knight in some packages this year, and there's an opportunity we can see kind of what he can do? Or do you think this is going to be kind of Trinidad the whole way?
I look forward to be Trinidad the whole way. I'm not a big package fan, to be honest with you. I think if a guy's a quarterback, let him quarterback. Now, there's obviously things Deuce could do, and if JD wants to do it, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, Judge wants to do it, that's fine with me. But I think Trinidad can handle just about any facet of the game, and he'll be just fine.
That running back room is incredibly deep, Chuck. You've talked about it a lot on the Ole Miss Spirit. Joshua Dye and Mekhi Frazier are the two names that are mentioned a lot. Shakai Mills Knight, you'd like to see that light come on with him. And obviously spelling one of the best, if not the best running back in the country in Kewan Lacey. Maybe one of the better running back rooms you've seen in your tenure, Chuck.
Oh, no question about it. Especially if Frazier's as good as I've been told he was in spring. I mean, they're raving about him being almost as good as Kiwan. I mean, not a lot of difference if he's bigger and stronger. And then you got JT Lindsey. Don't forget about him. He'll be
Yeah.
a threat in the passing game for sure. One facet of his game, like you say, Shaquille Mills Knight had started doing some good things in spring. I was told we weren't out there to see it, but I trust the people that told me. So yeah, I mean this is a loaded room, and what makes me even happier about it, Brad, or more enthusiastic about it, is that we don't have to kill Lacey. I mean, 300 and something, that's too many. And I attribute that to the grind of the season. You ought to, a good running back these days, 15 to 18 carries is plenty. And at the end of the year, he's got 200 carries, and we all know what he can do, and it keeps him fresh, keeps him healthy for the football playoffs. I mean, there's no guarantee that 200 carries will keep him healthy, but is more likely to be healthy with 200 versus 300.
And you kind of mentioned a moment ago the wide receiver room. I'm with you. I think it's an area to where I think they can obviously have some growth, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the loss of Trey Wallace and Deshaun Stribling, how big of a losses they are. The good news, Chuck, and I'd love your thoughts. Trinidad Chambers is going to make everybody better, and some names we've heard: Horatio Fields, obviously going with you. Hope the light comes on with Caleb Cunningham, Deuce Alexander coming back, but the two transfers from Syracuse, Darrell Gill Jr., along with Jonte Cook. And then you start talking about the tight end room, and I'm just excited to see what might can happen with Caleb Odom and then Luke Haas. The wide receiver room lost a lot, but there's some potential there as well.
Oh, no question about it. There's plenty of ability. It just depends on whether or not the chemistry comes around quickly. And the names you named are great names. And the guy that I think has a chance to really break out is Caleb Odom,
Yeah.
tight end that they'll put in the slot a lot. Let's not label him as strictly a tight end. He's 6'5", 240, but they put him in the slot an awful lot. He's really got good hands. He's fast. He's a 5-star guy. It's time for him to play like a 5-star guy, and I think he will. I'm excited about him. We need Caleb Cunningham to be healthy, and I'm hearing that he's still having some issues with his hamstring. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm hearing. Uh, and Deuce has had a great spring and has had a great off season. He's going to be fine. Jonte Cook in the slot is electric. He's going to be very good. Just a matter of chemistry with him in Trinidad. All of them in Trinidad, and they've been working hard in the summer. I'm sure they've gained enough chemistry that everything's going well. But there's a plethora of players. Let's not forget Luke Haas. I mean, Luke Haas, when he was a freshman at Arkansas, was a big threat in the receiving game. I think he can be that again because he was injured a lot last year. Michael Smith from South Carolina, big target, reminds me a lot of Daquan Wright. So at tight end, so you got other people besides the wide receivers. I've been hearing some good things about Samari Reed, redshirt freshman, 6'2", 200. I think he can help a lot this year. So, there's plenty out there. It's just a matter of getting the chemistry right, and I think they will.
Having that core of Bryson Sanders at center, Delano Townsend at left guard, and right guard Patrick Kutas coming back just kind of anchors that offensive line. You talked a little bit about left tackle and right tackle. We have heard Coach Pete Golding talk about Therese Davis has taken a big step forward at left tackle. A right tackle spot, maybe some opportunity there with Tommy Kinsler and then Carius Kern, who's kind of been in a little bit of the doghouse here lately. Obviously, some concern with left and right tackle, but having that interior offensive line coming back, Chuck's got to be big for this
Oh,
Coach
no
Garrett's and
question.
his staff.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point, Brad. To have that's an anchor. That's your anchor for the offensive line. And I think that Therese and Tommy and Karras and Enoch Wangoy, don't forget Wangoy, 6'7", 350-pound transfer from Florida. I think he can help too. Um, it's just a matter of John Garrison putting it together on the offensive line. He's going to find the best five, and they'll be. I think again, they've been working hard this summer, and I think they'll be just fine.
I've been asked this a lot, and I'll ask you, if right tackle just somehow just cannot work, is there an opportunity for Patrick Kutas to go to tackle and possibly a John Wayne Oliver or Connor Howes go down to right guard, or maybe even
Absolutely.
move Bryson Sanders
Absolutely. There are a lot of possibilities there, because of those guys, Connor and John Wayne being ready to play. That's important. And don't forget Troy Everett from Oklahoma.
up?
Those three guys they're ready to contribute. They're ready to play. And if these other 5 or 6 or 7, whatever we talked about, don't come through, they'll get their opportunities. There's no question about it.
I've argued that Will Eccles might be the best, not only defender on the team, the best athlete on the team for what he means to the team. The defensive line, Chuck, is really good. You look at Cam Franklin, I think he's going to have a breakout year. You talk about Mekhi Barrow, along with, um, Jam Brown, Jaheim Otis, the transfer from Columbia, or actually from Columbia, the transfer from Colorado. This is some opportunity on that defensive front. I think they're going to be really good this year.
Yeah, and this is another situation with Otis, 5-star guy. It's time for him to play like a 5-star guy. He's 350 pounds. This is his opportunity to, you know, impress the pro scouts. It's so, hey, and then Burrow's a young guy though, 355 pounds. He's got time to mature and play. Uh, don't forget about Jonathan Maldonado, the transfer from Nevada. He's going to be 6'6", 255. And I love Cam Franklin. I think I asked yesterday on the message board for our subscribers who they thought would be the breakout player on defense. And my pick is Cam Franklin. I think he's got all American potential. And I think he's going to achieve that potential this year. We can't forget Sonny P. Perkins. I'm sure they're going to use him in the capacity of passing or rushing the passer. And as far as I'm concerned, he's another Marquise Haynes who had a long pro career. He's that good. So I think we're loaded up front.
Jordan Renaud, another name, transfer from
Yep.
Alabama. Chuck, is he going to be healthy in your opinion when they crank
Well, I
things up?
don't know that. That's a great question that I can't answer truthfully. I can guess at it that he's had a long enough rest, but I don't know that for sure. And it'd be nice if he was. He didn't have great stats at Alabama, but you could see that he was on the verge. He was ready to break through. So hopefully he's healthy and he can contribute. Don't forget about Blake Purchase either.
Yeah.
Oregon, he's going to be a factor at that defensive end. And from everything I've heard in spring training, the true freshman Landon Barnes had a great spring, and they think he can contribute very quickly.
Yeah, that's somebody that we've talked a lot about here on the Talk of Champions, possibly someone to come in and play as a true freshman. The linebacker room, not as much depth as that defensive line, but Chuck, I do believe the top end of that linebacker room, led by Keaton Thomas and Luke Farrelly, along with Taj Butler coming off the bench. I think that's a really good core. I'm a little nervous about the depth there, but that's a really good linebacking core.
Yeah, let's give Mr. Mitchell from Mississippi State a little credit too. I think he can be
Yeah, Tony Mitchell.
240. Yeah, 240 pounder. I think he can help the cause, and I think it might be time for Jacoby Hobson, the 6'2", 250-pound redshirt freshman, that he's got a chance to contribute as well. So we'll see. I'm like you though. I want to see more come. I want to see more out of the linebackers beyond the first two or three. But I think there's potential there.
Yeah, we'd love for you to join us at the Ole Miss Spirit. I appreciate Chuck bringing that up a moment ago. Your breakout player on offense, your breakout player on defense, you can be a part of that conversation right now, hitting that QR code right above our head, and you can join the Ole Miss Spirit today for only $1. I'd love to have you. The defensive backfield, Chuck, is one that I think is going to be a very, very good defensive backfield that nobody's really talking about. And they have the depth maybe that the linebacker room doesn't have. And there are a lot of players that look good on paper. We haven't seen them on the field very much for the Rebels, but that defensive backfield looks loaded on paper.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was talking about. It's going to be fun learning about all these different guys and digesting it and sorting it out and see who's going to. The cream's going to rise to the top, but there's plenty of candidates back there. Jonell Aguero from Georgia, Sharif Denson from Florida, Edwin Joseph from Florida State, and we got some returning guys that played a lot of. Nick Cole played a lot of ball last year. LaDarian Clardy was a freshman last year that started popping up at the end of the year, and they said he had a great spring. And those are all just your safeties there. At corner, I think we're just as fortunate, just as loaded. I don't think there's going to be any problems back there. I think they're going to be very much improved, and I think that was the goal in the offseason, They realized that last year linebacker and safeties and not so much corners, but safeties and linebackers needed help, and they went out and got them help.
Yeah, you look at the cornerback position, Jay Crawford, the transfer out of Auburn, Jalen Braxton, you hope he's healthy. And then you look at the other side, Antonio Kite returns, Dorian Barney, the freshman. Then you've got Cedric Beavers as someone, and you mentioned Nick Cole is already here. Andy Jaffe's a good special teams player. And then you got Joseph Aguero, Sharif Denson, Squirrel Clardy. It's just a cast of thousands back there in the secondary, and they're going to be tested early. I mean, I'm with you. I think Louisville and Jeff Brom, who is one of the winningest coach in Louisville history, a former player, they better be ready come Nashville. But I think this secondary is a huge piece for that.
No doubt, and they will be ready. But it's just fan talk and media talk that hey, take care of business, and they will. But you're right. Another guy I'm interested to see is Dante Core, redshirt freshman. I heard he had a good spring at corner. Tavoy Fagan from Clemson. I'm sure we signed him for some reason. Israel Solomon from Hawaii is another name that doesn't get brought up much that I think's got a chance to help at corner. So, yeah, plenty of candidates back on the back end, and I think that's how Pete wanted it because, like I said earlier, he saw that was a weakness last year.
I would put Lucas Carnero and Oscar Bird up against anybody in the country. Carnero, obviously, the place kicker that literally kicked Ole Miss to an opportunity to play for a national championship. That went over as we're watching the highlights of the Sugar Bowl here. And then Oscar Bird, a terrific punter. I think they're two of the best in the country.
No doubt about it. And we've been blessed recently with kickers and punters, in my opinion, and the tradition keeps on with Canero and Bird, no question about it.
When we get things kicked off in Nashville in a couple of weeks, I can't believe I'm saying it, as media day is this week.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to kick it off, Ole Miss and Louisville. What are some questions you're going to be hoping to have answered whenever they kick things off against Louisville? And, at the end of the game, what do you hope some of those questions are and possibly some of those answers for you?
Well, obviously the two tackle spots, we feel good about them, but we got to see them perform, obviously, on offense. Then, how are these wide receivers going to respond in regard to, putting up against the things he's does? I think he's got a great offense. I think we're going to see very similar offense, very similar pace. It's going to be fast. And I think that the run game is going to be important to him, just like it was to Charlie Weiss Jr. and Lane Kiffin. And I don't think there's going to be a heck of a lot of difference. I also think him being here for a couple of games in the playoffs with Charlie Weiss, getting to know the personnel better, that type thing, has helped him too in the transition.
One more here on the Talk of Champions. Chuck, it's always appreciated. You're a good friend, and look forward to seeing you inside Vaught Hemingway Stadium very soon.
Yes, sir. Take care and thank you.
That's Chuck Rounsaville of the Ole Miss Spirit, kind enough to give us a few minutes here on the Talk of Champions. He does a fantastic job on the Ole Miss Spirit. You can visit at omspirit.com in the field of on 3. You can see that QR code right up there above my head. Couldn't do what we do without all of our sponsors. You've seen them roll kind of here, and we're going to hear from them here in just a little bit, but we couldn't do what we do without our friends at Riverland Roofing. riverlandroofing.com. That's 662-644-4297. We appreciate everything that Riverland Roofing does for us here on the Talk of Champions. Also, I want to say a special thank you to B&A Bank. B&A Bank, a proud sponsor here on the Talk of Champions. Give them a call today, 662-534-8171, or go online to bnabank.com. Also grateful for our friends at the College Corner store. I just spoke with Scott Wern of the Oxford location. We're going to have a preseason preview show on location at the College Corner store. That will happen very soon. Stay locked into the Talk of Champions. We'll have full information for you. Could not do what we do without our title and presenting sponsor. That's Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. They had a big social media event earlier this week, getting ready for a ton of content about the Talk of Champions and about everything they're doing at Allen Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. I should say everything they're doing there at Allen Samuels. We're very proud to be a sponsor of theirs. They've got a ton of new inventory. Just go online today to AllenSamuelsOxford.com. Pick out that vehicle. Give them a call, 662-234-8000. Say, hey, Mason, Greta, Brian, all the sales team, I found the vehicle. Hold it for me. I'm on the way. They're located right past Kroger on the left on University Avenue. Could not do what we do without our talent presenting sponsor. We'll be live on location from Allen Samuels, Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Oxford very soon. Our online, digital, all types, insert your online adjective here. We're with C Spire. They make your life faster, smarter, and easier. Advanced technology solutions for homes and businesses. Just go to cspire.com. Make that change today for home internet, for cell phone usage. C Spire is customer inspired. If you need that haircut, we've got you a place to go. That's Game Day Haircuts of Oxford, located on 1735A University Avenue. Give them a call. Tell them you're coming. They've got some brand new stylists, the most comfortable chair you've ever sat in. There are televisions everywhere. The stylists are friendly. They're terrific at their job. You can book online right now at GameDayHaircuts.com. Follow them on Facebook, Game Day Haircuts of Oxford. You can see all the different haircuts they're doing. What I like is I show my son this. They're all kind of different. Everybody likes their hair a little bit differently. And you know me, I love my hair. But they have different designs they can put in the side for the kids, for the travel ball. They can do it all at Game Day Haircuts of Oxford. And we appreciate their sponsorship here on the Talk of Champions. Could not do what we do without Philip Hearn and the Hearn Law Firm, 662-766-7777 or HearnLawFirm.net. Philip Hearn, his team, they've got locations all throughout the Southeast. Give Philip a call today. If you have any type of legal need at all, I mean, you're talking about anything with your home, your family, anything, maybe you got yourself in a little bit of trouble financially, give Philip Hearn a call today. He will help you. He is a Rebel, and he is a proud sponsor here on the Talk of Champions. We were live on location in Winona earlier last week, and Chet Hunger of Modern Women of America was kind enough to open his doors. He can help you plan for life, including a variety of tools, including life insurance, annuities, mutual funds, and variable annuities. Give Chet a call today, 662-442-4723. And just Google Modern Women of America. They'll take you right to Winona and Chet Hunger. Chet is a Rebel, and he is incredibly entrenched in the Winona community. I had a chance to visit with him, and I've gotten to know his mom, who works at the hospital, and just an incredibly kind family. And what that means to me is when you have good people that you're doing business with, I think that says a lot about they're not only going to be business partners with you, it's like working with family. And he's going to overlook your portfolio. He's going to make sure that you have the correct amount of life insurance. He's going to make sure that you're invested properly into mutual funds and variable annuities. And if you have maybe an influx of cash or maybe you're struggling in one way or the other, he can help put that money where it needs to be so it can grow. And you're not paying all the interest. You're taking care of that to get ready to invest in that mutual fund. And hey, if you're in your 40s or in your 50s and maybe you're looking to retire, but you don't know what to do to make sure your retirement is going to be done properly, give Shed a call today, 662-442-4723, and say, hey, man, here's my situation. Can you help me? And I can guarantee you, Shed Hunger can help you. Couldn't do what we do without all of you that watch and listen. We're so grateful. Having the opportunity to do a pregame show and postgame show that has grown beyond measure. Now we're going on location. We're doing live remotes. We're having a show every day at 2:00. We're having special interviews like we've had with Chuck Rounsaville, the Ole Miss Spirit, and others that we're able to bring you a ton of Ole Miss content because that's what it's all about. We want to take you, the fan, and put you inside the Manning Center as best as we can. Although it may be limited for amount of viewing that we have, we're going to lean heavy in the fact that talking with football, talking with coaches, talking with people inside the Manning Center, inside the university to get you as much information as we can. While we're talking about the university, I want to tell you that on Wednesday, there's going to be a big drop for Heisman buttons, and there's going to be schedule posters and new bundles coming out. So the Talk of Champions, stay locked into our social feed at Ole Miss TOC, at Brad Logan TOC, and at Spirit Ben. We'll get that information to you as quickly as we get it. I also had a great conversation with Eddie Furness yesterday. Eddie is an incredible advocate for college baseball. He's an incredible advocate for Ole Miss baseball, and it was a great conversation. Right below us, you'll see that interview took place. We encourage you to go back and watch it on YouTube, or if you're listening to us, just take your smart device, look, and right below that, click below us, and you'll see that interview with Eddie Furness right below this one. And we're also looking forward to hearing from Chris Marler, also John Cox, and we'll have Media Day coming to you on Thursday. We'll have a live show on Thursday. Not sure what time it is, so we're going to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell so when we go live, it'll immediately notify you. Also, you want to follow us on social channels on Facebook and Twitter/X. Anytime we go live there, it will broadcast there as well. So we'll have interviews with coaches. Well, rewind. We'll have interviews with players. I don't know that we'll be able to stream the interview with coaches, but stay locked in. Jake Thompson will be there. I'll be there. Ben Garrett will be there, and we'll be able to get you all of those interviews. The players will be live on location. The coaches will come later. We'll get Pete Golding later that day, and then we'll have John David Baker, Brian Brown. I think those are the two. I don't think we'll get anybody else. We'll get the two coordinators. So they really locked down on talking to coaches, but that's okay. We'll get you as much information as we can.
Hey, Rebels, your truck is here. Alan Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Oxford presents the all-new Ram Rebel. It's Ram, the Rebel way. Send unmistakable signal, Rebel, 24/7. Ram Rebel, from your friend in the car business. Alan Samuels Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Oxford.
Come by, let's be friends. I'm Warrior Philip Hearn. Raising my family here in Mississippi, I've tried to teach my kids to help others. I learned that from my parents. And as a Mississippi lawyer, I want to help you too. If you're hurt in a traffic accident, 18-wheeler wreck, or have insurance trouble, call 601-720-3541. That's my cell. You call, I'll answer. Let's get started. Make your first call to the Hearn Law Firm today.
Bye, babe.
Let's get to work.
Advanced technology to accelerate business growth. There's more to see.
Start my weekend.
C-Spire, customer inspired.
Life is made up of moments. We care about those moments as much as you do. We are Modern Woodmen, a fraternal financial services organization, member-owned, not stockholder-run. Since 1883, we've supported families, strengthened communities, and helped people reach their financial goals. From protection to saving to retirement planning, let us help you plan for those special moments in your life. We are Modern Woodmen of America.